Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hmm. Okay, no one's gonna be here for a long time, so I'm just gonna. Okay, no one's gonna be here for a long time. Start my stream. Start my stream. And yes, let us begin. I'm gonna. And yes, let us begin. I'm gonna. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, so it seems my stream's music is too loud. I'm gonna turn that down a lot. And then do that again. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing. It's still too loud. So I still have to do it. And this classical music is very inconsistent. Alright, let's begin. Um, all I'm gonna really do is, study. So, don't, I'll talk about it, but I guess that's about it. Alright, let's begin. Engineering, all arrow. Actually, I've read these already, but whatever, I'll go through it again. All aero, astro, mechanical, and civil engineering companies operate in the global business environment. As an engineer, manager, or owner, we need to understand this environment to enable us to manage our business and succeed professionally. Okay, cool. Next. Business organizations differ in many ways, but they all have a common feature: the transformation of inputs into output. I don't like how inconsistent this music is. It's barely peaking sometimes. But they all have a common feature. Oh yeah, I already said that. The circular flow of income. Okay, so this is something I've done in economics before. Business organizations operate in an economic environment which shapes and is shaped by their activities. Economic activity is concerned with flows of resources, output, income, and expenditure. A model of the circular flow of income illustrates the central relationship between households and firms in the operation of a market-based economy. The circular flow of goods and income, so this stems from the firms. So what can the firms do? The firms can provide goods and services to the households and society, and they also provide for the households rent, wages, interest, and profit. less of the interest and profit, more of the rent, the wages, and yeah, salaries. And then what households and society provides is consumer expenditure, which is us humans as a society using our money to buy goods and services, which is from the firms. And we also have factors of production, land, labor, capital. I don't really understand this part, but labor, yeah, we get that. Capital, that's just investment and stuff. Land, I mean, I guess it has to come from somewhere. And then we move on. We have injections. So if we look at aggregate monetary demand, we have AMD, which is aggregate monetary demand. The formula, we have SIGSUM. That's how I memorize it. C is consumer expenditure, as we see here. I is investment, which is part of the injections from government. Yeah. G is government spending, injection. X is exports and linkages. Wait, sorry, it's also an injection. I'm so sorry. And then we have imports, which are leakages. And why isn't tax and savings part of aggregate monetary demand? It's because taxation and savings are hard to calculate, so they only care about imports. And why is imports a leakage? It's because we're using money from within the economy to buy products outside of the economy, which means our money is going outside, whereas exports, we're selling goods and services out, elsewhere, and there's money coming in. And yeah, that's about it. Let's go to the next page. How does GDP affect me? Basically, GDP is goods and services provided by your country. I believe. I'm not gonna. I already read this, but obviously I don't know enough. Okay, GDP is the measure of all activity of companies, governments in a country. And recession is when GDP falls for 2 quarters in a row. How does it affect you? Government can use growing GDP as evidence that it's doing a good job, but there are some things it can't really say. I read about it somewhere. Limitations here. Hidden economy. Unpaid work isn't captured in official figures, such as caring for a child or an elderly relative, so babysitting and such. Another thing that it doesn't account for is is it called the black market? You know, drugs, prostitution and such. These aren't part of the GDP figure because you can't find that information anywhere. And if you do find it, then the GDP of the economy will actually go up. But if no economy is doing this, then that's not really much of a point, is there? Inequality. GDP growth doesn't show how income is split across the population. So that means if the rich get richer, then the GDP will go up, but the poor, it doesn't show how the poor is doing. So I think other countries have a different way of measuring it. It's the well-being. Oh, here it is. The ONS started measuring well-being instead of, or alongside of economic growth, rather than just the GDP, economic growth. And then the other thing that I opened up would be this one. UK economy shrinks. This is recent, 13th of September. I didn't even get back to school yet. The UK economy shrank more than expected in July, driven by strike action by NHS workers and teachers, according to official figures. It's just basically how recently GDP has fallen a bit because of the heat waves and such. The heat waves? Oh, sorry, strikes. Strikes and rain, not heat waves. I'm crazy. And then, yeah, just failing GDP or failing business. Um, Rate of inflation increase. Oh, it's fallen. It's fallen, but it's still 3 times higher than the bank's 2% target. That's no good. 3 times is not good. Just called up household. Yeah, and the future isn't looking too good for all students at this current time because basically the debt keeps increasing. The UK government debt keeps increasing, but um, students like students like me are going to suffer because inflation is going to keep going up, but our wages and salaries are barely going to be able to keep up with the increase of inflation. So that means that we, students and this generation, are going to suffer because we have to pay back the debt, not the people that are currently in the government. Obviously, they're trying to minimize this amount, but it's still going up at a rapid rate. I don't know if I can find any information on it. Let me see. UK government debt 2023. I wonder if I can find it. No. Uh, Current. I don't think I can find it, but yeah, it's going up at a rapid rate. Let's just move on. Now we're looking at environmental influences. The transformation process takes place against a background of external influences. Now, I have no idea what that means. I don't get what it's trying to say here. The external environment is complex, volatile, and interactive, but it cannot be ignored. But I personally think that they're trying to explain how the environment, as in both the business environment and the actual Earth environment, how we're kind of destroying it, and we can't ignore it. This is kind of hard to understand. I'm gonna move on. So the environment is complex, volatile, and interactive. Yeah, this doesn't really make sense to me. I'm gonna move on. Business cycles intro video. I'm not gonna watch this video. I probably already watched it. Okay, I'll open it up to see what it is. I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm just gonna skip through. Business cycle fluctuation in the economy in terms of output and growth. Boom, boom, recession peak. Low employment, expansion peak. Okay, I was supposed to watch this in my free time. Let me go back to here. So in terms of the current business cycle, we are believed to either be here, but not here. I personally believe that we're going in through a recession, maybe around this point here. And yeah, some people believe that we're on the path of expansion, which I don't think is true because I don't know enough, obviously, Dunning-Kruger, but um, let's see. The effects of the strike are currently very prominent. I don't believe that we're going to get out of it anytime soon unless we find a solution to stopping all these strikes. And giving more wages, I guess, it is part of the business cycle, not the business cycle, sorry, the circular flow of income. But yeah, okay, we're going to move on to assumed growth, long term to population growth, productivity. I'm just actually write most of this down. Yeah, I'm going to start writing things down so that I'm actually studying and not just reading the PowerPoint. So this will be a bit slower. Okay, business cycles. Let's go. Business cycles. Draw the graph. Always draw the graphs. Graphs are very important in economics. So when you're doing your exam, make sure to draw a graph to explain what you're doing, what you're thinking, and how everything interacts with each other. Okay. Also, this line is the general. This line is the general direction in which an economy should increase in. So there's we have the real GDP on the side. We have time, obviously. This is the expansion peak into a recession. I don't know why there's arrows pointing to, very obvious places. But I guess if you don't take economics or haven't taken it, I guess it is a bit hard to tell, possibly. Peak, expansion line, recession, and trough. Trough, key rough. Okay, assume growth long term to population growth, productivity. Yeah, this is a measure of real GDP, as it says on the side here. And then this is GDP over time, how it should increase or change. Growth occurs in 1, population growth, 2, productivity. This includes 3 points of technology, discovery of new resources. I'm really butchering these because I'm writing it. New processes. I assume that's innovation. Now that we look back here, transformation process takes place against the background of external influences. I don't know. Maybe innovation only works against external influences. What could those be? Like billionaires, investments, something like that. International Monetary Fund GDP. Oh yeah, this is macroeconomics we're doing right now. So in terms of the government, there's 2 things that they do, that they control. That's the monetary fund, and then there's interest rate. Real GDP growth. Can I scroll down? Yes, I can. Emerging market development economies, world advanced economies. GDP current prices, GDP per capita. What does capita mean? GDP per capita meaning it's the sum of gross value added by all resident producers in the economy plus any product taxes. Words, too many words. Oh, where's it? Yeah, I'm gonna turn down my music a little bit. It's starting to get to my ADOT. Don't turn it from here, I need to change it from my main volume. Okay. GDP per capita. Some gross value added by all resident producers in the economy plus any product taxes. Sum of gross value. Gross value is all the things residents make. Gross value, how much each person is worth in the economy, plus any product taxes, so that's the tax when you buy things. Oh, 2 viewers, that's amazing. Not included in the valuation of output divided by the mid-year population. It's just a bunch of words to me. That's all I can say. Growth is calculated from constant price GDP data in local currency. Oh yeah, there you go. Sustained economic growth increases average incomes and is strongly linked to poverty reduction. GDP per capita provides a basic measure of the value of output per person, which is an indirect indicator of per capita income. Okay, yeah, output per person, and then GDP per capita is the total amount by everyone. Indirect indicator per capita income. Growth in GDP and GDP per capita are considered broad measures of economic growth. Broad measures, yeah, that means it's not determinate factor. Okay, that's good. Good understanding there. Real GDP growth. Blah 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 blah. Okay, let's move on. Monetary fund. Your personal inflation rate calculator. That's pretty cool. Let's check it out. How much are prices rising for me? You know what? I need to mark down my expenditures. I was going to do that at the beginning of the year. It's been a week and I haven't. I haven't bought many things, so that's fine, to be honest. Consumer inflation, consumer price index, consumer price index of housing codes, owner-occupied housing costs. I'm not going to click on this one. Fine, I clicked on it. Oh, perfect. Why am I so happy that I can't click on some information? Cost of living seems to have increased by quite a lot in the last 2 years. Why is it marked in July? I guess that's when things happen. I don't know. Some quarters or something, I guess. Energy bills, which have risen rapidly because of high oil and gas prices. There's oligopolies, which just dominate the market, like Saudi Arabia. I say oligopolies, but that's a whole country. Petrol and diesel prices, partly because of the war in Ukraine, has driven up the cost of crude oil. What is crude oil? It's like diesel? Crude oil, petroleum. Okay, I see. Well, they do need. I don't know if they have tanks or anything. I haven't looked into the recent war much. It's too depressing. But I assume they're going to need oil for their vehicles. Yeah, their vehicles. A lot of oil for their vehicles. And if their energy supplies get attacked, it's going to be a while before they can do much. So petroleum, crude oil is good to hold on to those. Recently fell. Prices recently fell from record levels, but are expected to remain high. That's interesting. Food prices as the war in Ukraine squeezes grain production and costs. Thank you, Mr. Justin Thomas. Um, yeah, so Ukraine is actually a producer of grain, for I don't know which countries, but I mean it's a large producer of grain and it supplies to yeah, I don't know which country, but it supplies to a few of them. Now that they don't have it, they're gonna have to import from other countries like China. That's just an example. Let's move on. What do COVID, war, and drought have to do with my bills? Yeah, literally nothing, right? Nah, of course not. COVID is. No, I just stopped talking. COVID is an exogenous shock to the market, which means that. What does it mean? Damn it, I don't know. Sorry. Exogenous shock means. Oh, I can't remember anything. It's very sudden and not expected, and it is an external factor of every economy. There's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah. Um, what has COVID done? It's decreased work production of stuff, and it shut down a few economies, which means that there's less supply. Um, but the aggregate demand is the same, but the supply has fallen, which is not good. War is going to destroy any economy no matter what. They're going to have to put more money, capital, resources into financing the war. Even Ukraine has asked for support from other countries, like the UK, I believe. And drought, that destroys production in the farming, agriculture department. And, you know, all of these affect your own economy because that increases the price. As supply falls, the price of products will increase. So your bills, of course, are going to increase as well. Energy prices have also increased due to these because they're scammers. All energy companies are scammers. That's what I would write in my exam. It's true, 100%. Transport, on the other hand, has fallen for some reason, or it seems to have decreased or something. I don't know. I don't really understand this graph. It says percentage points on the side, but it doesn't really explain what that means. Um, but you can see the bars are increasing for most things, like energy. That one's easy to see. Housing, food and non-alcoholic beverages as well. Transport, it seems to be smaller. I don't know why. I don't know what it means. Difference in CPIH, that's Consumer Price Index with Housing Code. Wait, no. Oh, it is, yes. And then we have other, which means other things, which I don't know. Recreation and culture has generally stayed the same, but it has increased a bit, I guess. Let's go next. Interest rates. I believe do governments change interest rates quarterly? Interest rates and monetary policy, key economic indicators. For quantitative easing. That thing's really important. I think I wrote it down a bit. Oh, I just wrote down that I need to know quantitative easing. I never wrote what it was. Okay, so the monetary policy is they meet quarterly. And I don't know what the interest rate is when they meet. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've met quite a few times, so I know. A lot of times in the past. I thought I'd take notes. I'm gonna go back and take some notes. Actually, there's not much to write, is there? Yeah. This one, I'm not gonna draw that out. That's the inflation rate. Not gonna write this one out. Okay, I can write the energy bill stuff. Energy bills. Right, cost of living first. Cost of living crisis. Crises. Energy bills. Go on. Petrol and diesel prices have kind of leveled out now, according to what the paragraph says. I'm pretty surprised at that actually. So I'd expect the supply to fall, which means that the price increases. Food prices increase from more petrol diesel prices, or as food oil needed. Energy bills risen rapidly because of high oil and gas prices. High oil and gas prices. Next, cost of living too. COVID war, COVID up, war up, drought up. I don't know why I wrote drought here. You could have put extreme weather conditions instead. But I guess drought correlates to the UK more, or for that few days in the summer. Interest rates. Let's actually write stuff down and how they affect us. Interest rates, the basic. This is a listening activity. I'm not going to do that right now, but I will open it to read it later. Interest. When might interest rates go down? The bank rate is currently at the highest for 15 years. Theory is that raising interest rates makes it more expensive to borrow money. Okay, interest rates up equals borrow less. Borrow more expensive. I'm not gonna write borrow less. It doesn't directly correlate right like that. Less money to spend, less expenditure, reducing demand and inflation. So AD falls, inflation falls. That's interesting. Rate has been risen 14 times in a row since December 2021 as the bank tries to decrease inflation. I believe that interest rate can be changed 4 times every quarter. That's just a guess from memory. Not just a guess, it's an estimation. Chances of rates actually starting to fall again looks slim at the moment. Core inflation. What is core inflation? Gosh darn it. Bank has... Ah, okay, come on. Let me find it. I don't really talk about it. I'm just gonna say core inflation is something that I don't need. Or I just didn't read it. When interest rates rise or fall, more than 1.4 million people on track and stand variable rate SVR deals usually see an immediate change in their monthly payments. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm just gonna eat the bread while I do this. Uh, I'm gonna read it. I don't really see how this would affect me because I'm not reading it. Is that music stuff? No, I just turn it down. Mortgages are bad. Hard to pay off. Mm. Inflation. COVID restrictions eased and consumers spent more. So if aggregate demand falls, inflation falls, but if people spend more, inflation increases. It's a bit weird. But other countries raising their interest rates. One of the highest rates in the G7. It's higher than the Euro area. and the US. Let's see who's in the G7. UK, Canada, US, Euro area. The Euro is actually doing really well. Also, I couldn't vote yet, but I'm surprised. I mean, it's not really a big surprise, but the Brexit um, occurred only because a lot of people didn't vote. And a large majority of people who did vote quite are people who's voted before, because those people have a different thought process about the economy. They lack the understanding that Euro was not the Euro, the European Union was helping us with a lot of things. And now that we're out of the European Union, we're basically on our own. Of course, we're still importing things, but prices have increased. Like the import prices have increased because we're out of the European Union, which means that the aggregate demand falls, and that is no bueno to us. No bueno means no good in some language I forgot about. I want to say Spanish, but that is definitely wrong. Name is Portuguese. It's definitely not Spanish. Oh god, I have to check. Oh, it's Spanish. God damn it. Anyhow, let's keep going. Mm, wait, didn't I just read this? Okay, let me write this down. Prices up, interest rates. Right, I wrote that down already. Why are they going up? Prices are going up as COVID restrictions have been eased and consumers spend more. What I'm thinking is during COVID era, a lot of places. Oh, sorry, that wasn't COVID. That was natural disasters. So in a small country called Macau, they couldn't get support from local from China, as they are technically part of China as a special administrative region. So there was a huge price increase in water. There's like a 500% markup, and it was people couldn't afford it. So let's say it was $8 in their respective currency. Some people changed it to $50 for I don't remember how much it was, but I think it was 1 liter of water. And this was also shown in COVID when people kept buying toilet paper and the price of toilet paper increased drastically. The thing is, it never had to increase. If people just didn't spend that much money to buy toilet paper in the first place, like if they just carried on as usual, there would be no shortage. Oh, this is also shown in America where a lot of people started buying up the petrol for no reason. There was no point. If people didn't do that, there would be enough petrol and the price wouldn't have increased so sharply in I forgot how long ago it was, maybe it was a year or two. I honestly have no idea. But it was very stupid of people to, buy so much. Because they just decrease the supply, which means the price increases. Um, yeah, next. Uh, Many firms have problems getting enough goods to sell, and with more buyers chasing too few goods, prices have risen. Um, let's look at supply and demand. images. This is supply and demand. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's open image in new tab. I will go back to here real quick. Getting enough goods to sell means that demand is low. Demand is low. There is, boom, the supply that is sold is here. This is equilibrium price. So they will need to drop the price to be able to sell this amount of goods to. Wait, give me a second. Say the price was here, but since demand has fallen to here, they're gonna have to drop their price to here to be able to sell this amount, which is not good. Demand's fallen. There's not nothing much you can do. Wait, is it shift left? It's hard to remember, but basically price will have to decrease to keep up to make the demand possible. Wait, what am I doing on this tab? First, we already talked about the Russia invasion of Ukraine thing about the oil and gas costs. I'm not going to write it down. This is taking forever to get through these 43 slides. I'm going to speed up a bit. Financial market now pricing an interest rate rise to 5.5% by March. Concerns are mounting that companies across the UK will be left unable to service corporate debt. Checking out when rates were at rock bottom levels. Brioche rolls are really getting stuck to my teeth. I'm gonna deal with that first before I carry on. So just stare at these graphs for a while. Negative interest rates. What the hell is that? Tracks indeed strike freedom. What's I gonna do? What the heck was I gonna do? Right, negative interest rates. Interest paid to borrowers rather than to lenders. Damn, that is crazy. Crazy, because it doesn't make sense in my head. Savers often tend to be older people or pensioners. Low interest rates mean that they have less money to spend. Okay, I'm back. Savers. I don't know what to write. Low interest rates mean that they have less money to spend. High interest rates are better for them as they have paid off their mortgages and will get more on their savings. Many on fixed income state pension. What? What's that supposed to mean? But many on fixed income state pensions. I'm just gonna ignore that because I have no idea what it's trying to say. War in Ukraine, President Putin weaponizing gas, European Union, unity, disruption to food supplies. To be honest, one way you can get back into the European uh, Union is the support of Ukraine. But that's just a theory. Supporting Ukraine enough that the image of the UK is better. Somehow. Somehow. Not saying this will actually happen. That'd be crazy. If I predicted that, I'm gonna change my career path from engineer to politician. So yeah, I'll be the best politician ever. I'll run this channel. I'll talk about all my tactics, and yeah, let my country fall. I'm kidding. Jesus. Not that politician part. Food crisis, about 20 million tons of grain meant for exports, has been trapped in Ukraine since February, along with other foodstuffs such as maize and sunflower oil. Oh, some information here. Which means the exports from Ukraine haven't been gaining any money, which means the aggregate demand is kind of low. Ukrainian are wheat importers. Oh, sorry, they're exporters. Ukraine is a wheat exporter. These are the people who used to buy wheat from Ukraine before COVID was fully enforced and the war. Yes. 20 million tons of grain meant for export. Blah blah blah. I mean, this is probably the food that they're forced to eat. Good luck to them. Gas prices jump in as strikes in Australia begin. Electricity generation. Malta, 100%. Who's got the most nuclear? Slovenia has a nuclear power plant. Bulgaria, Slovakia, France? When was that a thing? I don't even remember. Hungary, Belgium, Romania, Spain. Actually, I do think I remember France having it. United Kingdom, cool beans. Let's move on. Nothing to write. Gas price effects, carbon dioxide prices double. Carbon dioxide prices? Who's buying carbon dioxide? Oh, I see. Fertilizer plant in Billingham. Railway temporarily closing. Count for 1,300 tons, while just 600 tons can be imported. CF said it was closing its plant because of the price of natural gas has doubled, making it uneconomic to produce the fertilizer, which has food-grade CO2 as a byproduct. Did you know that God damn it. The food waste that we make creates a lot more greenhouse gases than... Wait, no. Sorry, what I meant to say is that throwing away your food with your general rubbish, general waste, is actually bad for the environment because it doesn't naturally biodegrade unless there's something living there at the waste place. um, which means that if you actually separate it and throw it away where you're supposed to throw it away, then that's actually accounted for and actually taken care of properly. Which means that well, actually, there has to be greenhouse gases created from throwing it away in the wrong place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, how can I forget? Carbon dioxide is used in well, not is used as it says in the lower paragraph to carbonate water, soft drinks, alcoholic drinks, and such. It's also used to promote the growth of plants such as cucumbers in greenhouses. To stun pigs and chickens before slaughter. Don't know how that works, but doesn't seem very nice. I mean, seems better than just killing them straight up, but yeah. It's here to extend shelf life by preventing bacteria. Does bacteria need oxygen? No. The answer is no. Some do, but not all. Keep food fresh in transport. CO2 is used in the form of dry ice and snow. EU, European Union, launches state subsidy investigation into Chinese electric cars, but hurts. The European Union is taking the first steps towards what could become a trade war with China over electric cars. Funnily enough, China is selling a bunch of electric cars into Europe, which is screwing up the market. As these Chinese cars are being sold for very low prices, and that's all I know. I don't know why screwing it over, but probably due to the diesel and stuff in most cars, petrol, blah blah blah. Pound and euro. This is exchange rate. So euro to pound. How do you write euro? Euro to pound. I meant the sign, not how to write it. Euro to pound. Sterling. 0.8673, which means €1 is equivalent to 0.8673 in pounds. And we'll look at this from pound to dollar. Pound to dollar, USD. That's that sign. So £1 makes 1.1509 USD. As you can see, the exchange rate has fallen. What does that mean? The purchasing power of the pound has fallen in accordance to the United States dollar, and the euro has risen, kind of. It has peaked and fallen and risen back again, according to the pound. So this exchange rate, can I exchange €1 to $1? It'll be hard, but let's do it. Um, I have no idea how it works. My brain doesn't want to do it. €1 to USD, or $1 to euro. I'm gonna try it with euro first. So what do I want to do? 100.8673 divided by 1. That's pound on top. The value I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm doing it wrong, but I've done something. My calculator, it's right here. What I've done is I've changed €1 into 1.1509 USD. Something's wrong with my math here, because I don't think I can do this equivalency. 15300. Yeah. I just don't think this works like that. What I found is that the euro is very similar to the USD. I'm not sure if I done it wrong. Probably did, in fact. So I got 1.153 euro equals to 1.1509 USD. Don't know if that's correct, but I will take it as that it is. Oh damn, what's happening here? I didn't even look at the dates. This is September. Okay. 2022. Is this current? We're losing money. Purchasing power. Oh, this is the date. Right. I'm gonna skip that. The pound's value affects everyone from shoppers to business owners and investors. This is because when the pound is worth less, the cost of goods imported from overseas goes up. That's very self-explanatory. For example, gas, the price is likely based on the dollar. Petrol oil is priced in dollars, so a weak pound can make filling up your car more expensive. One thing you can do is, when you walk past the petrol stations, they have the large sign there. Keep in mind what the value is, and then if it goes up the next day, then the purchasing power of the pound has either fallen, has probably fallen, and if it goes down, then the purchasing power of the pound has went up. That's very simple to see. I don't usually keep track of it, but it's probably a good idea to do so in the future, for your future. Food prices. UK imports 46% of its food it consumes. Technology. Like mobile phones or cars made abroad could get more expensive. Very cool. Oh. Even things made in the UK can cost more if parts are bought from the other countries. The next 6 months, global question mark. Global mean temperature change from pre-industrial levels. Is this the temperature? In degrees Celsius. This can affect agriculture, and farms. Or that is part of agriculture. But yeah. I mean, agriculture is definitely going to be affected. Animals, texture, quality of animals. We also have farming, the pristine conditions that farmers have made so far maybe change because of temperature, and then they're not going to get enough water, or they need more water because it's evaporating too fast. Blah blah blah. Brexit. We kind of talked about it already, so I'm not going to go on too much about it. Petrol diesel vehicle ban 2035. So this vehicle ban isn't banning the actual vehicles themselves, but the purchase of new vehicles that use diesel and petroleum. Of course, in the future, like maybe 2050, 2060, they're going to ban them completely because they'll be tearing down these petrol stations to make electric stations because pollution, greenhouse gases, blah blah blah, economy, blah blah blah. Next 6 months in the UK, this was made a while ago, so this is wrong. I haven't kept up to date, so I'm not going to try. This is $1 billion. What do governments get? Oh, sorry. Let me click on this first. I will watch it by myself later. You can watch this later if you want. Here's the link. Go next. Why do governments get involved? Economists call it market failure. So there's two ways, or is it 2 or 3 ways in which the economics of a country is viewed. One is the allowing the market to do its natural order as it recorrects itself in the end. Another way is through the governments, which is monetary policy, I believe. And the third one is also government, I think, but it's just less. Unwillingness of the market to produce public goods, defense, social service infrastructure, and the provision of merit goods, education, libraries, externalities, pollution, congestion. Monopoly, I don't know what those words mean, but a monopoly is when a company has control over the whole business. Let's say the railway station or railway services. That's a monopoly, but the government actually enforces laws against it to not have it become a full monopoly, because they can just increase the prices again and again if they don't listen, if they don't need to listen to the government, because this is an essential service. Same with taxis, I believe, but there are other taxi services like Uber now, and the other one that is not so popular, so unpopular I forgot his name. Underutilization of resources, promotion of technology, economic regeneration. Oh, ability to pay is the key determinant, not need or equality. I mean, they're all part of market failure, and why a market may fail if governments don't help. But again, if the prices are too high, unless it's a necessity, people won't buy it. So then prices will eventually fall from maybe, and also price skimming is a thing, where you skim off the top of the price bit by bit, like how iPhones do it. They start off with outrageous amounts of money, like £1,500 for the iPhone 16. I actually don't know the prices of them right now. And then in the next quarter, I don't know how Apple works, but the next quarter maybe they'll drop to 1,500, 1,400. And then the next set of people who are like, yep, it's finally fallen, I'm going to buy it, because now it's within my price range. And then they keep skimming it off and off a bit until they get to like 1,000, maybe 800. I've seen them at 800. And then that's when that's the lowest they'll go because they'll be losing way too much. I think I bring up this price skimming graph, which they will meet everyone. This is the demand. And then price one, is there a better one? Penetration, pricing, price skimming. There we go, price skimming. It's easy to see like this. So you start here, you get a few people, you get a few more, you get a few more, you get a few more. You keep going. Here's the graph I was thinking about. Here we go. And you can cover basically all of your demand until you get to the equilibrium point right here. Yeah, you're good to go. Next up, main macro objectives. Governments have 5 main macro objectives: controlling inflation, economic growth, reducing unemployment, favorable balance of payments, controlled public borrowing. Government receipts. I can't care enough about this. I don't know what it's all about. Oh, it's the stuff I was talking about in the beginning. Where our government debt is insane. Here we go. It just keeps going up. I need a 5-minute break. Alright, you can take a break now. I'll be right back while you watch this thing grow and grow and grow. Yeah, it's not gonna be 5 minutes. I'm just going to the toilet. But yeah, let me mute up my mic in case I drop something and kill someone. Yo, what is up? I'm back. 5 minute break over. Let's go. No, it hasn't been 5 minutes, but whatever. This is very enjoyable anyways. Okay. Okay, national debt. Rising with deficit. Who's slurring his words? It's not me. Real national debt including state and public sector pensions 4.8 trillion. Blah 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 blah. Oh, that's how much I owe to the debt. That's kind of sad. I don't even make money yet. Government spending more than it is getting every year. That's not good. What changed? 2023. No, not good. Government response, fiscal and monetary policy. That's the stuff I was on about. Yes. Government spending G and taxation T set out the budget. Monetary price of credit within the economy. Interest rates set by the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee meeting quarterly. Sorry, I got a message there. Price of credit within the economy, interest rates set by the Bank of England Monetary Policy meeting quarterly. Yes, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. How does quantitative easing work? Who knows? Quantitative easing. That is some information. When economic times are hard, people worry about losing their jobs. Lower rates mean you got less interest in your savings. It's like trying to spend money than to spend it, or save money than spend it. And lower interest rates make it cheaper to borrow money, so it's easier to buy a new house or car or expand your business. Lower rates mean people buying things and business investing helps the economy stay healthy, protecting jobs. It doesn't really explain what it is. It probably has in the paragraph, but it hasn't said explicitly what it is. Oh, okay. How does QE work? Um, QE printing money, but in fact, no new physical banknotes are created. The bank spends most of its money, of this money buying government bonds. Okay, so the rich and the banks buy these government bonds. That's what quantitative easing is. When banks or rich people, buy government bonds. If I was disinvested when I was in A levels, I definitely would have gone in A. Facts, 100%, no cap. Government bonds are a type of investment where you lend money to the government in return it promises to pay back a certain sum of the money with interest in the meantime. Buying billions of pounds worth of bonds pushes the price up. When demand for anything increases, the price usually goes up too. Many interest rates on loans offered by banks to businesses and individuals are affected by the price of government bonds. If those bond prices go up, the interest rate on these loans should go down, making it easier for people to borrow and spend loads of money. Will more QE make it easier to find a mortgage? Maybe. I don't know. Many investors buy government bonds in times of crisis as a safe place to put their money because the UK government never fails to repay a bond. For now. Reversing QE. Economies recover from the pandemic. Prices are rising. That meant that instead of trying to support the economy, the Bank of England need to slow it down to get prices rising less rapidly. It did this by raising interest rates. And as we know from before, raising interest rates means borrowing is more expensive and less expenditure. Inflation falls, supposedly. At first, blah blah blah, how does it affect government borrowing? Um, Government needs to pay it back. What's the impact of QE? Eh, yeah, yeah. I'll work it out in the exam. Who cares? Yeah, this is probably not a good mindset. Government's in austerity. Government's trying to cut unnecessary spending to eliminate deficits. I'm gonna write this down. Honestly, I should make separate live streams for what I'm doing. So this one, yeah, I'll do it later then. I'm gonna change the name quickly to business management, macroeconomic side. Oh wait, it's on a different page entirely. Very smart of me. Edit. First study stream. Aerospace engineering. Nope, just business management. Business management and macroeconomics of businesses. Businesses. How do you spell businesses? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Gun. Guns Alonzo. Dream Health. Stream is healthy, guys. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't end the stream. Holy, don't click that one. Governments trying to cut unnecessary spending. Sorry, that must have been error. Sorry. To eliminate deficits, but have to try and keep economies going the cost of living crisis. To try and keep economies going with regards to the cost of living crisis. There's a few errors here, or I just don't know how to read properly. Politicians reluctant to raise taxes as politically unpopular. Okay, that's good to know. Politicians reluctant to raise taxes as politically unfavored. Politically unfavored. But increases in inflation may make it necessary, especially to pay for spiraling cost of the NHS and long-term care. Is this why the US economy doesn't have free healthcare? That's crazy. All costs rising with inflation. We know that already. To be honest, I've realized that I'm more of a visual learner than someone who learns from people's voices. Because I like make a screenshot in my brain and I just pull that up sometimes when I need it. Of course, sometimes it's all fuzzy, but yeah, it's easier than memorizing words because people talk at different rates, and then you gotta play back the whole thing, and it just gets a bit fuzzy. Pestle, what environmental factors are affecting the organization? Which of these are most important at the present time in the next few years? Political, socio-cultural factors. Wait, it goes. Okay. Political, economic factors, socio-cultural factors, technological, environmental, legal. I don't like the way you split it up. It goes left, right, left, right, left, right. But then they're at different heights, which means it's a bit funky. If you just put it here and then just cut it off, that looks so much better. Population, demographics, income distribution, social mobility, environmental, legal. Well, not going to talk about all this stuff. It's a bunch of words that aren't explained. Alright, that's it. That's it for this first stream. I'm going to take another small break before I get back on to doing the next stream, which would be on... Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll do something fun. I'll do my CubeSat project, that I need to do within a week, so I can get it sent and marked by maybe my professor. Alright, let's begin. Let's end the stream, and I will see you in about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. No, not half an hour. Won't be half an hour. 15 minutes, I'd say. I will see you later. Bye bye.